Bask, are you sure you want to talk about this week? This is it? This is the topic? Alright, apparently this is what Bask wants me to talk about this week. G'day, and welcome back to my hobby room. Now look, it's been really quiet lately, have you noticed that? At least from my end. Actually, it's been really busy. That's why it's really quiet, which is sort of a dichotomy, I know. My life has been very busy, so YouTube's kind of been a bit quiet. And the problem is, it's something I only realised the other day. You really can't have lots of hobbies because one will dominate and the others will suffer. Or you'll try and do every one of them and nothing gets done. In my case, the whole thing has been 3D printing and I'm loving it. I'm really enjoying it. It's great. I'm like immersed into it and watching videos and learning stuff, and it's all the things I kind of like, mathematics and exploring and creating and, you know, all the things I love about modelling, like in scratch building and fabricating and fixing kits and doing all the rest of it, doing a bit of research, you know, seeing what I can do to make it better. That all occurs in 3D modelling. It's all done on my computer, which is kind of good. But it means I'm not making many videos, am I? And when I make 3D printing videos, well, people sort of go, I mean, there's probably a market for it, but I know not you guys. And my last two videos have really been 3D printing, but I've tried to put it into my modelling, right? Try to show you what I was doing, like the Hercules. I'm trying to show you how I built the interior and 3D modelled that, and then with the prints, I said, well, I 3D modelled and replacement deck because it broke it and everything. Whereas in the old days, I'd sit down and scratch them. You know, I'd show you me there, cutting up bits of stuff and gluing it together, and a lot of people love that, like scratch building. Probably because you could do the scratch building if you're interested. You could copy me. The 3D printing, I think, is alienating a lot of you. So Bass suggested I do a video on this, the problems I'm facing now with too many hobbies, and we're going to call it Printing Really Is Cool. Kinda. Hang on. Bass, is that a really good acronym? Yeah, well, let's prick ourselves on this one. Get on with it. Roll the music. Now, I've often said on this channel, do what you love. Do what makes you happy. And essentially, that's what I try and do. But I have a YouTube channel with lots of people that like to watch it, so I try and make you happy as well. But I mean, you know, I can't do that at the detriment of my own sanity. And I've talked about this before, that, you know, I'll try and do what I can to make sure you get what you think, well, what you came here for, okay? So you came here because you watched some old video on me making tanks. And now you watch me, I don't make any tanks, no. And you came here because I started building a Tamiya racing car. Well, I just haven't followed up with it. And you came here because you saw me during the Great Apocalypse, right? During the plague. You saw me building the wooden ship, the Bounty. And you went, oh, this is great, this is really good. He's going on. And then I stopped. All these things had their time and their place. And these were things that I was doing. I mean, I was also doing battleships last year and the year before because, you know, my father passed away, so it rekindled my interest in the Warspite and that Airfix kit that he'd bought for me, which was the first battleship kit that I'd ever made. And the thing is, in the period, I'm all enthusiastic and I'm doing it. But just like Homer Simpson, oh, look, a squirrel. That kind of happens. It really, I am guilty. And I go, oh, you know, it's like Becca gives me a Hercules. It's an aircraft. I don't really build a lot of aircrafts these days. Like, oh, this is interesting, you know. Becca gave me the Sunderland, and again, it's sort of not something I'd normally do. But the Sunderland videos went down fairly well. I did a lot of scratch building and changes and interesting stuff with it, and it was well received overall. But the trouble was then that brought in a whole lot of people that like aircraft, and they're getting excited. So when they saw the Hercules, like, oh, great, he's doing another aircraft. And the Hercules is still there, and I still want to do it, and it's sitting there, and I'm ready to do it. But I haven't got to that point where I'm excited about doing it again. I mean, I'm not hating it. It's just I'm not overexcited. In fact, all I wanted to do this weekend was rig my St. Louis. But I realised if I sat there all weekend just rigging my St. Louis, there wasn't a video in it. So that I would do for me. And maybe this is the thing. 3D modelling I've been doing for me. Well, it's been a kind of a business. I mean, I have sold a lot of rat harps and a lot of dead runs and those sort of things. And this is all great. But what am I going to do going forward? Let's have a chat about that. Bask, remember to put the lights on this time? Yeah, it's the lights. Lousy I don't know, my director. She's too busy. She raced out to get some fish. I think she heard me talk about squirrels. Got all excited, ran outside. So, yeah, there weren't any lights on me on the previous shot. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's just a fat face with a beard on talking to you. Does it matter if it's lit up? I mean, let's just turn all off the lights and do the whole thing in the dark. Would it make any difference? I don't know. You know, the thing is, it's a visual medium, but you're only seeing me, talking head, in front of a whole lot of kit boxes. A lot of you are going to whinge about, oh, you've got all those wings kits, you bastard. You know, you're never going to build them. I get it. I get that a lot. You know, I get people say the silliest things and they go on about it. They find some tiny point in one of my old videos and rub it on. Even I've forgotten. It's like a video from 10 years ago. I go, I don't even know what you're talking about. But they're excited about it. They write tirades of pages and everything. Click ban. Not interested. No. And this is the thing. What is this stupid medium of YouTube? Well, now it's all TikTok and, you know, shorts and it's sort of, you know, getting upset and upsetting people and doing stupid things and being controversial. And I've done my fair share of that. A lot of it was just testing the water, see what would go on. Didn't like the short medium, didn't have a good reaction on this channel. And, you know, really, my long form videos are the ones I enjoy doing, and also they're the ones that my subscribers and my Patreons and my YouTube members and the people who are, you know, behind me all the time, people on Facebook and everything, they're always the ones saying, yes, you want to see a video of doing that, you know. It's like I showed a photo on Facebook that I'd bought the cloth sails and all the rigging cords for the prints, and that was going to be in the last video, but I forgot to put it in. And straight away everyone wanted a video on how to make sails and everything like that. And sure, that can be done, but I'd be sort of jumping the gun if I went and did that, because really there's sort of a sequence to building the ship, and I haven't got to masts and yards and sails yet, but that will come. And the thing is, I've done it before. This is sort of annoying me with a lot of the stuff that I get requests for. I go, well, I've done that before. Go back and look at this video. I have covered so much over the years, and the techniques and things I've shown pretty well at all. What I like to do these days is show something new, and the new stuff has been predominantly 3D printed batch notes, because that is a new thing for me. For me to go and show again a video on weathering and, you know, a video on basically even the planking video was a remake. The only difference there was I was 3D printing and then planking it. But I put the planking bit in, showed you how to do that again. That has all been done before. I think I've done it about 3 times. So, do I just keep repeating the same? I mean, is it like Sinatra? Do I just keep singing the same old songs and keep trotting him out? You know, stuff him up, trot him out, and just do the same old wank videos, you know, again and again and again and again. Is that what you want? But more importantly, is that what I want? And no, I want to break new bounds. I want to do new things. Now, I was watching this great video on David Bowie, and I'm not going to parallel myself to the brilliance of Bowie. I'm just learned a few things from what he went through and what he did, okay? So I'm like that, and Bowie's like, you know, that. So just don't think I'm comparing myself to Bowie, because I'm not. I am nowhere near Bowie is. But as a creative person, he went through these stages, and I think I'm kind of going through them too, you know? I've tried to find my groove, got it, became reasonably well known. I mean, you know, I'm not getting millions and millions of views, but 3 million I think we're up to now in total. That's over 10 years. So, you know, I found my groove, I found the thing that I like to do, found the thing that other people like to watch, and you find your little spot. That's your little happy spot, you know? Happy, 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 joy, joy. That's where you're happy, it's where the audience is happy, and it sort of rolls along. But the thing is, you kind of can do so much and then you exhaust it. All right, so your choice is either just to keep repeating and doing the same thing over and over on each model, basically doing it, whereas that was never what I did originally. Every model was a new thing. I would learn to airbrush, I would learn how to filter, I would learn how to scratch, and I would learn how to do this and this and this, you know. And each of the things I'd learn how to plank a ship and all the rest of it, you know. Even though I sort of kind of had the skills beforehand, it was all new because I was older and it had been many years since I'd done a lot of this stuff. So I went into the whole process of learning and doing it. And I think that was well received, because I never pretended I had all the answers. I don't think I did. I hope I never came across that way. It was more a case of, I think this is the way to proceed. It's a little bit like what I've done before. Let's have a go at it, and this will be my way. And that's how I went. I mean, that was the thing with track links. I came up with a track link method that worked really well for me, mainly because I didn't like anybody else's. Now, don't panic. Don't panic. I'll put you out of your misery right now. I'm not bored. No, I'm not bored. No, I have got so much enthusiasm, so many ideas, and there's so much I want to do, right? But it's a case of I have painted myself sometimes in the corner. It is my fault. And I have promised so much. And there's, I had one guy comment going, I am sick of your misleading bloody thumbnails and you're always promising stuff and you never do it. That's it. I am never watching your channel again. And okay, fair enough. There was a sense of expectation, and I'm pretty well responsible for saying, I'll probably build that kit next year. I do all these reviews, mainly because I got nothing that week. Like that, it would have been a review today. I looked at a couple of kits and thought, should I just churn out a review? And and everyone's going to love that. It'll probably get a lot of views. But no, that's not my happy place. That would just be me sticking another bloody stake in the ground and perpetuating the problem that I've got to. Is that, I've kind of painted myself in a corner with a number of things. Now, last year, I think it was, I said, look, I'm not going to jump around with video things. I'll stay with one thing. And I kind of did with Sunderland. I stayed with the Sunderland and I worked all my way through it, and I only sort of broke for a few chatty videos. Basically, that's what I built, and I got it done. And that was good. It was hard. It was hard not to jump around because, again, the squirrel thing happened. Yes, it's a worry being a squirrel chaser. So staying with one thing is good, but the trouble is I do too many things. I've done wooden ships. I do, sailing ships. I do battleships. And then I've got Formula 1 racing cars. And then I've got these aeroplanes, And I've got wing kit that I haven't finished that I really want to do. There's not much left to do on it. And I keep promising that I'm going to do them. And I really mean it. That at the time when I say all these things, that is my plan. But life has thrown me a lot of curveballs. What I need to know from you is the 3D stuff that detrimental? Is that a real problem? I'm trying to integrate it in with the videos. But, the 3D thing is also something that we're going to have to really come to grips with. I mean, I'm watching Scalemate's online database and models and everything. Right, I'll put a link down here. And 90% of all the new listings of new kits and new products and new accessories, they're all resin, which usually means they're 3D printed. A lot of them say they are 3D printed, but if they're resin, you can pretty well guess that they're 3D printed. And it looks like someone like me has been building something, and then he made all these special bits for it, and then he's putting them up to sell. And that's great. And often there's probably a bigger market for sort of aircraft stuff that I'm seeing, And there's, tanks, and there's special kinds of bits to do with the armour and the links and everything. And sure, and that's terrific. So that will be 3D printed, or you can go online and you can buy the files, get hold of the files and print it yourself. This is a reality of kind of where modelling is going, because it is a lot faster in turnaround time to look at a problem, create a solution and get a result with a 3D printer than if you wait for a manufacturer to have to go with all the design, the tooling, which takes forever to do the injection moulding and then market the whole thing and put it out. They're looking at big numbers. That's why there's always lots of Spitfires and there's lots of Tiger ones and everything. And they look at big numbers that they can get a return on, right? Little things, all the little stuff that we want done, that's too hard for a big manufacturer to do and make a profit. I mean, the only reason we've got all these lovely old Hella ships and these old lovely airfix sailing ships, right, is at the time those companies were doing really well, and these projects, they were side projects. They could do kind of little niche stuff and they didn't really make much money out of it, kind of broke even. There were more long-term projects. Long-term, it's now 50 years for a lot of these kits. They haven't been updated. Because today, it's too difficult to do that. There are very few sailing ship kits that come out from scratch anymore. They're revisions of old ones or updates to molds, that sort of thing, because there simply isn't the numbers to be able to do all of the tooling and all of the manufacturing process and then all of the marketing to get it out there. 3D solves this. 3D printing means if you're a person who's interested in this tiny subject and you take the time of your own to produce this little widget or this little update, like seats for a 1:144 Heracles, right? If you do that, then there's a limited market of other people that want it, and it's not that hard to get stuff out to them, really, I mean, for instance, my 3D printing, and I get all the harps out and all the rest of it, right? I've been doing it since November, say, okay, so nearly 6 months, okay, nearly 6 months. And I added up everything that I'd made, all the money that come in, took out all the postage, took out all the packing, took out the cost I had to do for 3D printers, took out the cost I had to do for all the filament and all the rest of it, and all the packing, mucking around and a stapler and this and that. And I had to buy a little printer to print the plastic, the colour labels, and broke even. Admittedly, from now on, a lot of the design's done and things done, and I probably might make a little bit of money out of that. But it is not a going concern. It's not going to make me rich, not at all. But I love doing it. And I love sharing all the stuff, and I still will continue to do that, but I'll probably stick to the designs that I've done. For a while, there's going to be a limit of doing new CAD, because CAD, I was spending up to 10 hours a week on CAD to produce tools, and that restricts then, that's 10 hours a week I couldn't do any modelling, or 10 hours a week I couldn't do any videos. And as my contract work and all the rest of it has all eaten up my time because I've got to pay more bills than I used to, my modelling time has got reduced to only on the weekend. So if I'm making a video, I've got to do it on that weekend, and then out it goes. And hence today, all I'm doing is putting my fat face in front of the camera and whinging. Yes. Now, look, I'm trying to be honest with you, because if there's been quite a lot of people that have cancelled their subscription, both in Patreon and, actually YouTube members have been pretty good. That's growing, don't know why. But Patreon and just the subscriptions to the channel, they've all taken a dive. I can understand. Last month, I only put out 2 videos. Sure. This guy's dying. He's getting old. What's going on? Well, this is what's going on. So this is a response to if you're worried. But I'm not leaving. I'm here. I'm going to continue. What I've got to do is do what makes me happy. Sure. And then share only that with you, because that's the thing. And you can certainly make suggestions and cries and ask for this and ask for that. But look, it'll probably fall on deaf ears, because I can't do everything. If I do everything, nothing gets done. So I'm going to focus on some things that I want to do. And I want to rig the St. Louis. So that will be my next few videos. I'll just do that. Then hopefully I'll get that out of my system. And then I might be the happy place to finish the Hercules. And I certainly will try and do a little bit on the prints in the meantime, probably on the day when I feel like painting or doing something. Because, you can only rig so much, you get bored with it. So I might spend a day painting and do a bit of the prints, and then if I've got enough material put together for that, after a month I might have a report. And I'd love to do my wood chips, but again, everything is getting held back by you can't do everything. And I want to get back to playing my banjo, and I want to get back to playing my piano, and and I want to do my gardening. My gardening has suffered. There's a whole lot of things that I want to do rather than just work, eat, sleep, make a video, work, eat, sleep, make a video. That's not life. That's not life. It's, that's the grind of being here and doing stuff. I can do this every week, if you like, or at least, say every second week. When I haven't got much stuff to do, I can just have a chat with you. Would you like that? Let me know. It's something I could do. I could just talk about the week. Say, guess what I didn't do this week? All right. Look, this video is a bit different to a lot of things I've done. Its theme is sort of 3D printing and how it's ruined my life. No, it hasn't. 3D printing and how it's suffocated my channel. Yes, you can't have too many hobbies. And I'm not giving up the 3D printing. I enjoy it thoroughly. And I'm not giving up my modelling. I'll find a happy place. Maybe you've experienced this sort of thing too in your life. And maybe you have a solution that worked for you. By all means, share that. That would be really interesting. All right. Well, I've carried on enough. Buttons. Apparently there's buttons. And if you're still interested in this channel, buttons. Please don't subscribe. Unsubscribe, subscribe, whatever. Stay and be merry. And look, you can always buy me a curry. I really do enjoy a curry. You can buy them for like a whole $3, one curry. Yeah, it's not a fortune. Just all go out and buy me a $3 curry. Hit the link, go there. It'd be terrific. Then I won't have to work so hard in my contract work, and I can spend more time here. Something like that. Anyhow, look, this has been Bask. Are you happy with that? Yeah. She don't care. She's out chasing squirrels. All right, I'm going. That's it. It's goodbye from Australia, and it's hooroo from Harry Houdini. Don't bring that squirrel. Bask, where'd you find that squirrel? Don't bring that squirrel in here. It's bloody. Oh, I'll get the mop. I've got to go sort this squirrel out.